let's talk about Werewolf by Night then, which is this interesting new direction. And it is, I'm not, being facetious on that. It is quite an interesting new direction.
So we're a little bit late because it was a Halloween release, wasn't it?
And it's a Marvel presentation or something. They've labelled it, so it's like a one shot. So
it's a 1 hour.
They don't do them
film,
they don't do them anymore, do they? But they used to do. I really miss those little one shots used to have on DVD extras, and they sort of stopped producing those. So really, you stopped having those in actual movies or TV shows, but having a one shot just as a format, regardless of the content of this episode of the Werewolf by Night. I love that concept as a way of introducing things. You don't want to commit a whole series or a movie to.
Absolutely. Well, it gives them a chance to try something new. So, for anyone who hasn't watched it, now I could not get my wife on board with this because she was like, she watches all the other Marvel stuff, and she was like, no, it's done in mostly black and white. It's nearly all black and white, apart from the odd little bit of colouring here. It's black and white.
It's black and white as much as Schindler's List black and white, isn't it?
And it's like the old Universal horror films, isn't it? It's got the logo at the start. There's even some like hair and cigarette burns in the film. I say film, air quoting the film.
Yes.
It's got that look about it. It's got that kind of like, where you say, oh, it is the werewolf, and then the lightning goes off. It's really done. Like them 1930s.
It's not just a surface look, is it? Well, let's put it in black and white and put a few little trimmings on it. The whole thing, all the performances and everything are all done in that slightly exaggerated way as well.
Although
the camera angles and music
contemporary, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
So basically, the brief story is this old man has died. He's the leader of the Monster Hunter Club, if you will, and all these various bounty hunters. I don't think
they're called that, but that fits.
No, whatever they're called now. These various bounty hunters turn up to get this prize, including his estranged daughter, and they say, right, we're going to start this evening off, if you will, kill the monster. You don't know what the monster is, and in the morning, whoever's alive, and you've got some proper.
It's a good set. It's a good little simple setup because you've only got an hour to tell the story. So that is a setup. I didn't know that much about this. I'd seen that little trailer, and even after seeing the trailer, I was kind of thinking, they've done like a Universal Studios style trailer, but I wasn't really expecting the show to fully embrace it like this.
Now, Rob, do we want to talk spoilers? Because there's some really big spoilers here, and I feel like it might ruin it for people if you haven't watched it. If you like this kind of thing, it's also played for laughs as well. So there's a couple of instances where my wife said to me, this is going to be gory monster stuff. I don't really want to watch it. But it was actually very tongue-in-cheek. Because there's a bit, isn't there, where you follow the main daughter and she's buddies up with this guy. And at one point, he says to her, I've got these sticky grenades. If you throw one against the wall, it'll blow the wall up. So she goes, okay. And I'm making it sound really crap, but it's really well filmed. And he throws his grenade against the wall. It doesn't stick, does it? And it keeps bouncing back to him. And there's sort of little comedy moments like that where it is played for laughs, and it's a bit spoofing, isn't it?
It doesn't take itself too seriously. Though, strangely, it is probably the most violent that a Marvel film has ever been. Actually,
his arms chopped off and all sorts.
But I think because the tone of it is. It's not going grim and gritty. The tone of it kind of gets away with it, and because it's all in black and white and stylized lighting and high contrast and all this sort of stuff, it never feels as disgusting as it actually is. It does a similar trick to what Kill Bill did with Tarantino, where he got around the censors by putting it in black and white, and then it feels less disgusting.
We mentioned in our review of The Batman, didn't we? There's a great bit where there's the gun flashes in a corridor, and that's the only lighting, and you're seeing Batman beating up guys. There's a similar thing to this, isn't there, where you're seeing the werewolf and there's lightning flashes outside of a guy transforming, so you see his shadow on the wall, don't you, of him because it's not American Werewolf in London, is it? It's more sort of like, I'm guessing it's animated as well to make it look like that, and it's the proper Lon Chaney style werewolf, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they've tried to do it like, imagine we only had, technology of 50, 60 years ago, even maybe longer than that. So how do we have done it? Well, you couldn't show a man turn into a wolf, could you? So you just had to show the person's reaction and the silhouette of it instead. So it does things like that. And rather than showing a man's hand being actually physically removed from his body, chopped off, all of a sudden you'll hear a scream and someone's holding it and it's on the floor, and it does all these sorts of things. In the same way that Star Wars gets away with having hands and arms off, where it just cuts and it's on the floor. Yeah, but the makeup's done
really well.
Yeah, so it's more like the Oliver Reed Wolf Man, isn't it, rather than a werewolf?
Yes.
It's the Wolf Man sort of thing. And even the other characters, so the character they're hunting that's in it is a fairly cult, famous character from the comics. But if you don't know your comics, you won't know what it is. That apparently, a lot of that is practical effect. Apparently,
a
lot of it's man. Yeah, there's a lot of it man in suit, augmented with bits of CGI and colour tinting and stuff like that. But yeah, I've seen some shots of it on set.
It was very well done.
Suit.
And like you say, Rob, you don't feel like you... Now, of course, you and me would have watched this and we would have loved it anyway. But because it's only an hour, or maybe an hour and 5, isn't it? It doesn't feel like you've got to invest much in it. And actually, for that, they've had to be tight with the story. And for that, it made it more enjoyable. I really, really, really enjoyed this a lot. It was way better than I ever expected it was going to be.
My wife accidentally watched it. I did say when it came out, I said, when we was trying to choose what to watch, and I said, could I watch this? And she obviously didn't hear me say it's like this Marvel one-off. So she just heard me say it's this black and white style werewolf movie, which she thought, oh yeah, that sounds good. And she didn't realise it was Marvel, and there's no big Marvel things. There's no big links in it, they don't go like, oh, let's go and see a friend Blade who hunts vampires too. There's none of these clumsy links to anything else. It might set up future spin-offs. You might see some of these characters again, you might not. It depends how popular it is. It doesn't feel like it's forcing that either. This is the last we see of it. It does a nice little job.
It was really...
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good. Very, very hot. I'll give it a 100% recommendation. Very, very good.
Robbie, how many full moons out of 10 would you give it?
Do you know what? 9. I really loved it. I could even go 10 on the day. I absolutely I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. I love compendium movies, so I love these little short one-offs. I also like I love all the the stuff we grew up with, the Hammer horror type things.
I'm up there as well. 9-ish maybe. Do you think what could have fault with it? I mean, for what it's trying to do, how could it have done it any better? I was even laughing. They should be really proud of that, Marvel. I think that's a really interesting, bold thing that they've done there. I think it's a really good show.
And even the dad joke you see in the trailer with the reanimated corpse where he says, "I'll be rotting for you." When I was like, that's really good bit of dad joking going on there. So that gave me another thumbs up.
Yeah, it's good.